Five. Good afternoon, everyone. You're looking at the 36 Chambers of Crypto Taxes podcast series, which I like to educate you guys and also bring a lot of great individuals within the blockchain crypto ecosystem, and particularly on how to protect your assets, whether it's just money, fiat, crypto assets. At the end of the day, it's all about protecting your assets. And if you have crypto assets, no matter what country you live in, you want to kind of protect it from the government. And one of them to protect it from the government is keeping great records of it. In the United States, if you're saying that if the government's saying that you sold $1 million of crypto, you best believe you better have some good records on the cost basis and what type of transactions is because you don't have to pay them taxes on the 1 million. Maybe you only made 10,000 off of it. So we got Berken from Coin Tracker. They have a wonderful system. They're international, and we're gonna just learn why should people care about tracking, and also why should people give their company a try. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Jamal. You said a coin tracker again. It was coin tracking.
Ah, great.
Is it?
We had this whole full transparency, guys. We had this whole conversation, and I always knew it as coin tracking, and then you say, "Oh," and then you messed up my head by saying coin tracker,
They
coin
do similar
tracking. So now
service,
I'll be
so
on the,
it's
huh?
exactly they do the similar service, so it's just normal that it's
Oh,
confusing
if you
because
would have never said the other company, you would have never been confused. But that's what we're going to talk about also, guys. There is a company that sounds familiar, which I didn't know. So once he said it, I got confused. So introduce yourself, introduce the correct name of the company,
yeah,
and
I'll do.
tell us more.
Okay, thank you for the introduction and thank you for inviting me to your podcast. And it's nice to be here. And yes, I'm Berken from Coin Tracking, and there is a similar company. So we're based in Germany. We're from Europe, and there's a similar company in the US. Its name is Coin Tracker, and yeah, it can be confusing at times, but it's a different company. So just for clarification reasons, and yes, Coin Tracking is the first ever crypto tracker and crypto portfolio tracker, as well as tax reporter in the crypto industry worldwide. So this means we have been founded in 2012, and 2013 we went live, so around 10 years now. And back then there was no really no competition in the whole crypto sphere that could deliver you some kind of a crypto portfolio tracking software. So therefore, coin tracking had a really good advantage, the first mover advantage, so to say, and yeah, gained a lot of attention starting back in the day with our founder, and just from that point on, it grew naturally, so to say. And yeah, added, of course, since then we've been growing on different paths, which means we have a lot of importers as well as a lot of possibilities to track your crypto, and therefore have advantages. As you mentioned in the beginning, for instance, is that you have sometimes the problem, or you could have the problem if you're not transparent enough with, let's say, the IRS to tell them how did I gain this money, or how did I invest this money, how much I made and stuff. And therefore, our solution is here. This means, really simply explained, you go into coin tracking our software. You can sign up anonymously. You don't even have to insert an email address. And then you can, what I mentioned in the beginning, we have these importers for instance, exchanges, a lot of blockchains and wallets as well, of course. And you can just insert or import all your transactions via CSV data, for instance, which is being done manually, of course, or via API. This means all of them will be added automatically to your account, and you will have an overview already with all your investments connected from different wallets and different exchange, and you will see how much you've gained, how much you've lost, how many transactions you had, and stuff like that. And in the end, of course, you can take this data out of it and create your tax reporting for the US, for instance, in this case, and see how much you owe the IRS, so to say. And yeah, that is so like the core part of coin tracking.
US speaking, US tax purposes speaking, I did have the opportunity to use the software way before, this interview and stuff like that. It is the reports are very user friendly. Like how they break down the other income, the form that you need. You can put in PDF, Excel. It's like you got like no excuse to give your tax accountant the right reports, or if you're a tax accountant, some of our software we get integrated in there, and it just makes it super easy. And I love the options and how simplified the reports look. Like you can understand it and it just breaks it
Exactly,
down.
exactly. And that is a great USP actually, because since I mentioned we're 10 years, more than 10 years old now, and over time we had the possibility to grow naturally, as I said. We were self-funded, therefore we had the time to focus on certain things normally companies can't because of stakeholders and stuff. So therefore we had the opportunity to go really into depth of the analysis of tax reportings, and I think we have by far the most tax reports or reports in itself on our platform. And yeah, that can be helpful at times. For instance, I'm not sure if how it's in the US. I'm not a tax expert in this, like not a CPA officially, but the tax loss harvesting functionality. So you can see, of course, in your portfolio tracking part at coin tracking, what losses or gains you might have, unrealized losses and gains, and therefore can also do strategic moves, of course, which can benefit your taxes in the end. But again, you would have to talk to a CPA to confirm that, because I think there was some discussion around that topic recently.
Yeah, and that's another good reason why, I recommend that. And I'm not always just telling like the investor to dig deep into it. If you're like a very serious investor, you may want to ask your tax accountant what type of software they have, because that will make a big difference. Now, if a tax accountant say, "Oh, I'm just going to do this on an Excel spreadsheet," you're
Yeah,
probably going to wind up losing a lot of money. Yeah, you may love this guy. You've been dealing with him since, the ninth grade, and now you're 50 years old, but it may be time to move on, or ask that tax accountant to say, hey, can you work with a accountant that deals with coin tracking software and stuff like that, because like I said,
exactly.
it really makes a difference with the harvesting and all the other stuff and other
Yeah,
income. It makes a big difference, especially in audit purposes. So
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, so why should someone, in normal terms, let's just talk about the average Joe. We're not talking about the tax accountant. We're just talking about someone that just so happens to be very smart and they made a lot of money crypto. Why should they take software like this seriously for themselves?
Sure. So first of all, for themselves, like the more lifestyleish part of coin tracking is the portfolio tracking, right? So when you start, as you said, the average Joe starts. I started the same way. I started investing like with the first exchange I had. I bought Bitcoin, and then I saw, okay, what is Bitcoin about? Then I read into it, then I got deeper, right? Then you start looking for alternative coins, and you're being interested, and you start maybe investing in other coins as well. Therefore, you maybe probably trying out new exchanges as well. You're building wallets which are connected to some kind of decentralized finance activities, and then you buy maybe an NFT. So your investment is spread all over, right? And at some point you don't have the overview anymore. How much should I invest? How much did I when I sold something? Because some transactions are even taxable for when you switch crypto to crypto, and therefore you would also have to be aware of that. Is you don't have the overview anymore in the end. So therefore, for the average show, when you go into coin tracking, then you will see that the main part is, okay, how much did I invest really? How much money did I put into this whole network of cryptocurrencies, and how much did I make? How much do I still have actually as well? And maybe even you figure out some coins when you insert, for instance, your blockchain or your wallets. You will also see, of course, some airdrops. Maybe, sometimes you don't know that you received some kind of a form of a cryptocurrency after putting it into our software, because we take the data out of the blockchain, of course, which is openly visible, and implement it into or import it into coin tracking for you. And therefore you see like a whole bunch of different coins as well, which you have never been aware of maybe as well. And this is the first case, of course, like the portfolio tracking part. And then in the end, so of course, this is up to everybody else's opinion, but to be really open and to don't have, and I think everybody knows that you have to pay taxes at some point. Of course, crypto is not regulated yet. We've seen a lot of discussions being made, and a lot of regulations are being formed. So therefore, I wouldn't take the risk, to be honest, to avoid paying these taxes. And therefore, use a tool like cointracking, for instance, and you'll see what you have made and what you would have to pay normally for taxes purposes. So these two parts are really important. And additionally, maybe to get to your point, which you mentioned beforehand, is when you have a CPA, for instance, who uses Excel and stuff like that, right? We also have this complementary service, which is called the full service, where you even say, okay, first of all, if you don't want to do anything with this because you don't have time or the energy, or you just don't put that much effort into it, and we have a full service where we have, first of all, partners, CPAs, for instance, in the US, all across the world, but in the US, for instance, now in your case, as well as we provide you with all the services you need to get the tax report you need for your CPA or for your personal statement for the IRS as well. So you would get that delivered. You wouldn't need a CPA as well. So this is up to you. So the full service helps you. Okay, here's my account. Please provide, import the data, do everything so that I just receive the tax report in the end, and make it as simple as possible. And this service is getting more famous, or a lot of people like that service because it helps you a lot. It can be a pain, I assume, for a lot of people as well.
And as someone that, as myself, that represents a lot of people in front of the IRS, please don't think just because you didn't get a letter from the crypto you sold in 2020, you're out of the blue. They got probably up to 10 years to give you a nice little letter. So in an audit, they're gonna look at your records. So if you come with organized records like softwares like this do, they say, okay, maybe this is legit. But if you're coming with receipts and it's all over the place, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. So
Exactly.
it's worth the investment. And I think the final question is basically, I think all the rage right now is AI, whatever. And I feel like crypto and blockchain kind of took a seat back in regards to, how the media used to love it and stuff like that. Like, how do you general, do you feel optimistic about crypto, and is it growing, or you like, how do you feel generally? Not advice, speaking of investment, but generally, do you feel it's going to be
Mhm.
more adoption? How do you feel?
It's hard to tell, to be honest. Since I'm always looking for the marketing side, I think a
Mm,
lot of things happening in the crypto industry are somewhat marketing driven as well, as you may know yourself as well. Some projects gain attention just because they're in somehow have a strong marketing, or some other possibilities in marketing as well, and therefore it's hard for me to tell from a technology side because I'm not that into not that technologically well equipped to tell. But of course, AI is extremely helpful, and I think there would be a great combination of AI and blockchain. But I'm not sure if that has to be honest, as well. So, in my opinion, I think like I have not seen a use case. A decentralized one would be great, of course, but I've not seen a case where the AI and the blockchain in combination would benefits extremely. But yeah, I think there can be some really good projects out there, but I don't know them yet.
I
But I'm
see.
looking forward. I'm open to a lot of ideas and projects to see, and yeah, will be interesting. It's exciting times, to be honest. Yeah.
It's exciting. Technology is always gonna, evolve, innovation. I always feel like there's some type of teenager right now that we never heard of.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just making this game-changing
Yeah,
technology, or use case for both AI and crypto, and this is gonna blow our mind and stuff like that. I always have that feeling. But how
yeah.
can people find y'all? I'm gonna have it in the section, so yeah, we'll have all the information, but verbally, like, how can people find you guys?
So yes, yeah, as you know, you probably have the in the description as well, the link to the coin tracking. But we're trying to be on the most popular platforms, as well as if you go onto our website, of course, at cointracking.info, and you will find the current website. We're working on a new website as well, which will hopefully go public beginning next year. And either way, on Instagram, on Twitter, we're trying to be on TikTok as well. So we're trying different platforms, and trying to get in touch and be as transparent as possible with our community on Discord, for instance, as well. So this is all has been building, and yeah, we're looking forward for the next years to come. will be really
Yeah, I
interesting,
think
I
I think
think.
y'all would do great once people find you out because, like I said, I saw the reports and I'm very impressed how detailed, but how easy it is to find like the information. It's
Mhm.
very impressive. So you guys are on the right track. You're doing a great job, and hope to hear more from you guys. All right, but I would like to thank you for your time, guys. If you don't know, he's from a different continent right now, so the major time difference. So I appreciate that you took the time to
Thank you.
educate, my network, my community about your wonderful software.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for
All
inviting me
right, have a
again.
good
And
one.
you too. Bye bye.
Bye.